we are back and we're talking about two things that this channel was literally built on. One is rumours and the second is Primarchs returning to the 40k narrative. Now, over the past couple of days, there's been some internal rules leaks that have been hitting the internet. But with these rules leaks, there's been a question asked about Primarchs returning to the 11th edition setting, and apparently there's been an answer to that. So let's jump in, let's get talking about this, but most of all, let's get to those glorious wafflings. And remember, as I always say, please be aware that everything that I'm about to mention is a rumor. It's not facts. You know, it's not happening until GW say it. Rumors are rumors. All rumors are lies. Please take them for what they are. Okay, so just to set the story, what's gone on so far, as I mentioned at the start, over the past couple of days, there's been apparently a lot of rules leaks that have happened internally from Games Workshop. When I say internally, the story is that apparently there's a Discord server where TOs are invited to, and in that server, there's interviews with GW staff where the TOs can ask them questions about, you know, upcoming rule changes and stuff like that. That's where we've been seeing a lot of the rules leaks that have been happening over the past couple of days been coming from. We've been asking questions, and that has now been confirmed with articles over on the Warhammer community website. But from what I'm told, a part of those questions, someone asked, are there any more Primarchs returning in 11th edition for the rules? And apparently Games Workshop has stated there is going to be more Primarchs, with an S, plural, returning in 11th edition, but they can't go into detail with that. Again, rumors, take it how you want to take it. Of course, all this stuff is coming from that TO server. A part of that interview has already come true in terms of some of the rules that GW have already confirmed. So I'm sitting here now believing potentially there is now going to be even more demonic, well, I say demonic, even more returning Primarchs in 11th edition. And we've kind of already seen one of the big teases already. And of course, that's Perturabo. I actually have this brand new narrative book now. I've done a full lore narrative breakdown, which I'm going to be releasing hopefully tomorrow, Wednesday. I'm recording this on a Tuesday. And in that, it's made very, very clear that Perturabo is returning in a big way. He's sending his Iron Warrior sons out there to actually crush any resistance, both Imperium and Chaos, because his grand plan that he wants to put in effect and destroy the Imperium. So straight away, I definitely think they're bringing Perturabo back, which again does make sense because the previous narrative stories that we've got is with Vastor and stuff, and Vastor, the Iron Warriors, and Perturabo have known to be working with each other, have been known to create these chaotic demonic engines and stuff. So if he was to come back into the setting, I think he would slide right in. But there's also another big story which is underlining Perturabo's return, but I'm going to do a separate video on that because it's a massive spoiler, a part of this brand new narrative book. Let's just say this: it's Perturabo's way, or it's the highway. It's Perturabo being Perturabo, as you expect. A big old iron crybaby. And again, the word was Primarchs with an S, plural, so multiple Primarchs are returning. Now, I'm not going to say it's all going to be traitor Primarchs. Then again, it could be a double whammy of traitor Primarchs. Perturabo, I think, is set in stone. Literally, he's going to return in. On the flip side of that, you probably could get Lorgar returning as well. One of the things that a lot of people have mentioned that I've sent to me over the past couple of days is that in the new Defiler kit, they actually never showed off a Wordbearer helmet that you can actually put on that Defiler. There's a little bit of new Wordbearer decals as well. Not a lot, but a little bit of new Wordbearer decals. So a lot of people are taking this as maybe potentially in the future we are going to get something Wordbearer-ish, which would make sense, right? The Iron Warriors, the Night Lords, the Wordbearers, the Alpha Legion, the Red Corsairs. Yes, some of these ranges have received their own models, Huron Blackheart and stuff like that, but all of them need to be fleshed out. All of them need cool HQ characters, right? They need that type of stuff that the Space Marines are already receiving in Warhammer 40,000. So for the Wordbearers to get some love, I would not be surprised. And Lorgar returning to the setting, again, I would not be surprised. This is the perfect time. It's the perfect opportunity for Lorgar to return to the setting. Chaos is literally seeping out into reality. It's ripped the galaxy in twain. So for him to return, this is his time. It's his time to preach the word of chaos. On top of that, if he was to come back, it would make some spicy, spicy lore for Guilliman as well. Because Guilliman, the word bearers, Lorgar, they absolutely hate each other. And I think that would make some great narrative stories as well. But I'm going to say, if they're going to bring another traitor Primarch back, then surely you have to, like, balance the scales. It can't just be a landslide of Chaos Primarchs. We're about to get a meet-up between Guilliman and the Lion. And my big concern was bringing another Loyalist Primarch back without the Lion and Guilliman meeting. Again, in the 500 World Books, the Lion has sent a message to Guilliman saying, brother, we need to meet. So I think in 11th edition, we are going to get that reunion finally. Hopefully there's a brotherly hug in there because I absolutely can't wait for that to happen. But as I mentioned, that then opens the door for more Loyalist Primarchs returning because the Loyalist Primarchs are actually meeting and actually going to be working together then. But the big question is, then which Loyalist Primarch would be the best to come back? Let's just say it is Perturabo, okay? And as a bit of a fan of Rogal Dawn, the most logical answer to that would be Rogal Dawn. He is the opposite to Perturabo, where Perturabo fails, Dawn always succeeds, right? It's just that yin and yang, back and forth kind of thing. But when you look at the releases of Demonic Primarchs and Loyalist Primarchs from Games Workshop, they've always kind of teamed up like a release opposite. So you had the Lion fighting Angron, like Guilliman fighting Magnus and Mortarion, which never really happened before. So if they were to bring Perturabo back, I would probably say they're maybe going to bring someone back like Jagatai Khan, like Lehman Russ, like Vulcanite, maybe even Corax. But then again, Corax would be perfect for Lorgar, so maybe not Corax. But do you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, with the way that GW's been doing this stuff when they've been bringing the Primarchs back, it's never been like the direct rival of that Primarch. So maybe they are going to go in a complete different direction. We are literally going back to Armageddon, and one of the big things I've been waffling about now for the past couple of weeks, if they do bring a Loyalist Primarch back, right? The planet that this brand new narrative is set on, the stories, the wars, battle planet, battle world, whatever you want to call it, a Primarch disappeared on this planet. And that Primarch was Vulcan. So potentially he could come back because we know Vulcan can't die. He literally cannot die. He is perpetual. Magnus tried to atomize him at the molecule level, and he came back like, hey, baby, how's everything going around here? Then he, beat up Magnus. So, yes, you can't kill Vulcan. Vulcan disappeared in Armageddon. Is there some type of connection there? I have absolutely zero idea, but that's where the foil wants to go. That's where my theories want to go. There's also another thing as well, which I just can't get out of my hat. And that is when Games Workshop were recruiting authors about a year and a half ago, and they wanted authors to write stories around Armageddon, which has now turned, of course, into the narrative setting for 11th edition, but also they wanted to get some authors to write about Comora, the Dark City for the Dark Eldar. Now, why would they be writing about the Dark Eldar in the webway? Maybe, potentially, a Primarch is floating around in the webway. Jagatai Khan, we know he disappeared in the webway chasing Dark Eldar. Could potentially that be the foundations for bringing that Primarch back? I do have a theory as well that maybe Rogal Dawn is somewhere in the webway, or Rogal Dawn is eventually going to be revealed as the King in Yellow, because Rogal Dawn is Dan Abnett's favourite Primarch. But that is a complete different theory and a complete different video for another time. Anyway, I just want to share this waffling with you. The rumours are out there right now. Games Workshop, apparently they're talking about this with certain people and stuff. So, yeah, is it going to happen? Absolutely no idea, but all the evidence, all the stuff is currently mounting. Again, the Perturabo stuff, the narrative, the Iron Warriors ending this edition. I think it's going to then bleed into next edition, and we are going to see the return of at least one demonic Primarch in 11th edition, and that Primarch is going to be Perturabo. We've already seen the artwork, right? Games Workshop do not make artwork without a model, right? There's no smoke without fire at Games Workshop. It's going to happen. It's going to be coming. It's just a matter of when rather than if at this point now. Anyway, thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Sorry, I probably chewed off your ear. If you've got any thoughts, feedback, any theories, speculation, which Primarch do you want to come back? Right? Post it down below. The reason why and where that Primarch's been. And maybe like how you would bring that Primarch back into the set. I think that could be a pretty cool thing to read. Anyway, see you in a bit. Have a good one. And bye-bye.